Screw the World Baseball Classic. Well. Welcome back to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to watch these videos. You know, I think about my existence as a sports fan for basically 4 decades. You know, I've got 4 teams that I root for over and above anybody else. I root for the Mets, I root for the Jets, I root for the Rangers, I root for the Knicks. You know, there's certain teams that I root for in other sports. Like, I like NC State basketball. I grew up a Syracuse fan, but I did switch over to NC State once Syracuse abandoned the Big East Conference. But I've got 4 teams that I roll with and always will roll with. And, you know, it's such an interesting place where these teams are right now. I was thinking to myself yesterday about the middle of the afternoon after Aaron Rodgers proclaimed his desire to play for the New York Jets. I'm thinking, I can't remember a time in a while when all 4 of my teams have been in such a good spot collectively. Think about it. You've got the New York Knicks having probably their best season, one of their best seasons in the last 21 years, out of their best or second best season, and a team that is going to make the Eastern Conference playoffs and could cause a little bit of damage in those playoffs. You got a good 1-2 punch between Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson. You got the New York Rangers loading up on talent, a whole lot of young talent as well, along with some veterans, and are poised to make a run in the Eastern Conference playoffs in search of that elusive Stanley Cup. Then you've got the New York Jets, and Aaron Rodgers is declaring that he wants to be a New York Jet. A whole lot of young talent on that team. You know, after no playoff appearances in 12 years, the Jets are poised to not only make the playoffs this year, they can make a legitimate run at it, but maybe even contend for a division title. Maybe make a run at the top guns if they have a good draft and bring in a little more talent on the offensive and defensive lines in particular. And then there's the New York Mets. Maybe if I had to pick one of the 4 teams that may be closest to winning a championship, I'd probably go with the boys of orange and blue, with the pitching, the hitting, the bullpen, the manager. They seem, coming off a 101-win season, they seem about as ready as any of my teams to win a title. And most people would argue the same thing, that the Mets are as good as any team in baseball right now. So, we're doing the show last night. Jeremy and I are on the Jets Chaos channel, which we do every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Shameless plug. We got a couple guests on. We've got Shownuff on. We've got Jack on the show as well. And we're just having a great time talking about Aaron Rodgers, what this could mean for the Jets. And it's about 45 minutes into the show, and all of a sudden I see one of the chatters named Some Guy says, hey, Adam, did you see that Edwin Diaz hurt his leg? I said, what? What are you talking about? I think I probably have the NCAA tournament on the TV muted, the first 4 game, like Arizona State, Nevada. I flip it on, and I see Edwin Diaz going off the field in a wheelchair. A wheelchair. And I didn't see what happened live, but as I watched the replay, you know, it was an elimination game essentially between the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico upset the Dominicans, knocked them out. Edwin Diaz struck out the side, 1, 2, 3, and they're celebrating. And Diaz, it wasn't even like a trample. He wasn't even like hopped on. It was like a toe tap. He goes down, and his teammates are frantically waving for the trainers to come out. His brother Alexis is there practically in tears. Diaz tries to put weight on his leg. He can't do it, and he gets taken off the field in a wheelchair. Based off of that, you know, he's going in for imaging later today. My guess is it's probably going to be an Achilles injury, maybe an ACL, but I would assume an Achilles. I'm assuming the worst. And the Mets will have suffered a blow that I don't know if they can come back from. Because while they have depth in the bullpen, they have been suffering a lot of injuries in the bullpen this month. Sam Conrud, however you say the guy's name, he has looked dominant this season. He has a lat strain, a high-grade lat strain. Bryce Montes de Oca, he's gotten hurt. Brooks Raley had to withdraw from the stupid WBC with a hamstring injury. He should be back in time. Jose Quintana has a lesion on his rib. Oh my gosh, he might be back in July. The Mets bullpen is suffering an inordinate amount of injuries, but they were all injuries. It's like, okay, that hurts, that sucks, but they can deal with it. They've got the depth. Now they have lost the most essential piece of their staff in the closer. And let's be honest, they have lost a little bit of color, a little bit of pizzazz, and a little bit of the excitement, a little bit of what made them special, a little bit of the sizzle, the combination of the sizzle and the steak, between the entrance, but then the execution on the mound. And I was an Edwin Diaz supporter even going back to 2019. Bad as he was, I was never ready to give up on him. I never was, and slowly he was getting a little better until 2022 when he absolutely dominated Major League Baseball, did not blow a save after the end of May. And he was looking great in the WBC, and then this stupid thing happens over a worthless tournament, as Sal Licata so aptly put it on WFAN this morning. I understand that it means something to fans of other countries. I get it. But then you got these guys coming in with like a week or two of spring training, going into high-stakes games, because in their minds it's high stakes. They're representing their country, and crap like this happens. I really don't want to swear here. I really, really don't, as upset as I am. So we have to go on the assumption Edwin Diaz will not pitch again this season. I don't see any scenario where he does. Hopefully the imaging results that will come out today will prove otherwise. But what do the Mets do? Well, they've got David Robertson. They've got Adam Ottavino. Zach Britton, the former Oriole, also pitched for the Yankees, will be doing a showcase on Thursday in Miami Gardens. If he can just resemble anything like a competent relief pitcher, the Mets have to sign him. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't know what he has left in the tank, but I am really, really getting worried about this bullpen at this point without Diaz. I think if you put in sort of a combination of Robertson and Britton and use them in the right spots, sort of like the Mets used Jesse Orosco and Roger McDowell back in 1986 interchangeably, then that could work. It can never be as effective as having Edwin Diaz. Nothing ever could be. But I think you just now have to throw enough stuff at the wall and just see what sticks. And yeah, the way that some of these arms are going down already, I am very worried about what we're going to be dealing with over the course of this 6-month season. Edwin Diaz, injured, celebrating a World Baseball Classic victory. What a stupid, unnecessary way to get hurt. Not saying Edwin Diaz is stupid. He did nothing wrong. But for what this tournament necessitated, I blame the WBC. I blame Rob Manfred. It just freaking sucks. I feel like I need someplace to get mad at right now. And I can't get mad at the player. I can't do that. I can only get mad at baseball for setting this up when they're setting it up. I wish this event just never existed. And the fact that it had to be in Met. We couldn't get 12 hours! As a Met and Jet fan, to just be happy, to be excited over Aaron Rodgers. You had to have this Edwin Diaz injury come along and douse the excitement right out. My God. See, this is me. You get these fleeting moments of happiness, and those who root for the teams I root for, we know what it is. You'll get these fleeting moments of excitement, but it never lasts. It never, ever, ever lasts. And March 15, 2023 was just another prime example of it. Well, those are my thoughts. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments. What should the Mets do? Is there somebody that they should go acquire? Does Zach Britton make sense? I'd be interested in what you have to say. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'll see you back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair.